This has been a hard week for me personally. One of the things you don't realize is the ups and downs sometimes. We tell stories in the States, especially of people living and a week ago tonight, I sat in a village with a young man that we had saved from a snake bite and got a chance to pray with him, hug him, meet his mom, hear about his family, and see this impact that we've had in his village. And one of the things that was just about that story, there was mud on some of the faces, and I asked, like, what's going on today? Why does everybody have mud on their faces? And they said, oh, we're having a celebration because we killed 3 crocodiles last night in the little round water that you landed in, and the lake there. And I thought, as I sat there just taking in this, kids laughing, parents in the canoes, the village, the setting, this young boy who's alive, and thinking about, they've been celebrating all day about these crocodiles, and it's been a time of joy in that village. And then I thought, what if Samaritan Aviation wasn't here? What if we hadn't been there the week before, when that little boy got bit by a poisonous snake and was frothing at the mouth and his eyes were rolled back and he was writhing around in the airplane? And when I picked him up and we rushed him to the hospital and they gave him anti-venom and it saved his life. And I thought about what that village would be doing right now during that. They wouldn't be celebrating. They wouldn't be putting mud on their faces in celebration. They'd be putting ash and mud on their faces in mourning. And there would be a house cry going on and people would be wailing. And just thinking about just that one village, Junior was one of 86 life critical flights that we've done for people in this remote communities just this year already, in the first 11 weeks of the year. And we're making such an impact here. So seeing that moment, seeing that was such for me, just a personal charge. And then Friday, we have a day where we pick up a mom who's breech birth in Kaningra. She delivers a stillborn on her way in the canoe to reach the airplane. She still has another baby in her womb on her way to the hospital. We grab a doctor from Borum and we're picking her up. So you can imagine the mourning already and the chaos in the village as one baby has passed. But there's still hope for the second baby and there's still hope for the mom. And so we bring her in. While we're flying in the airplane, she delivers the second baby. And Luke was flying. I was actually on another flight picking up a young man who was struggling to breathe in Angorum. And we landed 2 minutes apart. I got my patient out. Rob put him in the back of our truck because we only have one ambulance, and we put the young man who's struggling to breathe in the back of the truck. He races off to the hospital. Luke lands. I run over there, open the doors, and I see the second baby has been born during the flight, and it's a stillborn. And then as I'm sitting there, she delivers the placenta, and seeing that, and then it was just like, okay, we've lost the babies, number 8 and 9 for her. She has 7 kids back in the village. And the question is now, can we save her life? And so we went into action, getting her as quickly as we could to the ambulance, rushing her to the hospital. They took her right into immediate surgery, saved her life. And thank God those 7 kids in the village still have a mother today. But for me, seeing that and seeing the baby, I thought back to my own experience when my first daughter was born in America and she wasn't breathing. And I remember it was code blue and the lights were flashing and 6 doctors ran in and they got her breathing again. And I sat there helpless. My wife had a retained placenta as well. But just realizing too that if my daughter was born in that remote village, she wouldn't be here with me today. But also realizing that if Samaritan wasn't here, this mom of 7 wouldn't be with us today. And so, seeing children over here that are so far from help always is very emotional for me, because I realize I wouldn't have a daughter who just turned 21 a couple weeks ago and has spent most of her life here in Papua New Guinea with me. If it wasn't for the facilities that we have and the hospitals that are just 5 minutes away in America. But that's really what brought us here. It was, how can we offer access and hope with a plane? How can we turn a 1 to 3 day trip to the hospital into a 1 hour or 2 hour flight in an airplane? And that's really what we've been able to do now for 13 years. Saving lives, being the hands and feet of Jesus to these remote communities that don't have access. There's really no hope for that mother if we don't exist. There's no hope for the snakebite young man who I picked up if we're not here. And so all of that just reminded me of just the impact that we are making here as an organization, saving lives so that we can share Jesus, pray with people, give them hope for eternity. And that's what we do every day. And the team over here is amazing. Our pilots are amazing. Our medical director and country director and their family's amazing. Our partners are amazing out in the river. Borum is doing an amazing job. And all of us working together to save lives so that we can love people, to serve people. And that's why we do it. And so grateful for all of you who have been part of what we do, so that we have stories that we can share to say thanks. Because people deserve a chance at life. People out in the remote communities deserve a chance at life when they're sick and when they get bit by a snake. And we play a small part in that. But for me, it's just amazing to be back, to have this experience. It's what keeps me going. And that's what Samaritan Aviation is all about.